Good day, trendy travelers. Today I literally feel like Alice in Wonderland who fell down the rabbit hole and woke up in the Mad Hatter's tea party. Well, I am in Edenvale at the Tea Room, which is an exquisite venue, but as you know, I'm not Alice in Wonderland. I am Louise Goebel and I'll be your host for today, so do stay tuned for more of Trendz Travel. Still hot on the trail to finding the best place to camp, we start our 3-hour journey to Mabula Game Lodge, situated in the malaria-free Waterberg region of the Limpopo province. Once at the gate, you're still not really there, because you still have to make your way down the lengthy dirt road to get to Mabula Game Lodge. In this distinctly African safari destination, an extraordinary encounter with South Africa's bushveld awaits you. The lodge is divided into 2 segments, the lodge rooms and the villas. The lodge offers comfortable thatched roof suites with luxury finishings, with soft neutral bushveld colors throughout the massive windows, bringing the African wildlife indoors. One can experience an unprecedented comfort while enjoying the sights and sounds. The villas allow you to enjoy your very own private safari experience, ideal for small intimate groups of close friends or family seeking an exclusive lodge experience on their terms. The dining venues for both are spectacular, from traditional in-house dining rooms to African wilderness-themed evening dinners under a 100-year-old wild tree, or you can save a scrumptious dinner under the stars in the lodge's traditional Boma dining venue. Mabula Game Lodge has a lot to offer. You can watch the wildlife or escape the winter cold in the cozy lounging area or take a break at the bar. During warmer summer months, there's always the option of taking a refreshing dip in the pool or sipping cocktails poolside. You can even soothe your weary muscles as you indulge in exotic time-honored spa treatments. Although all this is really beautiful and luxurious, it's not glamping. For a truly unique glamping experience, we are taken to Kwafubesi tented safaris. Set within an impressive 12,000 hectares of malaria-free Limpopo bushveld, Kwafubesi tented safari is located 15 minutes from the main camp.
Kwafubesi was opened 14 years ago. Normally what Kwafubesi means is the place of the giant owl. Okay, it's a 10-sleeper camp, 5 tents. No kids allowed under the age of 16. Kwafubesi is based southwest of Mabula within the game reserve. In the open, no fences.
Are we doing room orientation?
Camps are on stills because there is free roaming animals, big 4 roaming animals around the camp at all times, at any given time that is. So we cannot have it based on the floor whereby you'll find a hyena fighting with you over your bed. So we need to lift up the suspension to give it more oomph.
Pretty much there's a plunger, there is filter coffee, a kettle, paraffin lamp, directory like I said, 2 complimentary waters that get replenished every day. We didn't keep the coffee station here because we're scared of the monkeys, so we're just leaving it as is. It's a fan working, and on this side, this is a hand radio that we installed in the tents. You are on channel 5. In case of an emergency, just contact the ranger on channel 7. There's multi-plugs at the back for your cell phones, cameras and laptops if you need to do any charging. Great. Okay, moving on to the bathroom.
Discreetly tucked away in the surrounding bushveld to ensure guests' absolute privacy, the comfortable furnishings, African decor and full bathroom, including shower, large stone bath and stunning views, provide a welcome sanctuary from the bush. Nature lovers can revel in the unrivaled closeness of the Waterberg's beautiful bush surroundings, which are unfenced. Our first official day starts with an early morning safari. I'm collected at my lodge by my own personal guide, Liam, who escorts me to the Boma area where we will start our safari. The morning drive is a cold one. The terrain is different from when we were in the Kruger. Instead of lots of bush, there are vast open spaces. We drive along quite merrily, spotting different game as we go. Halfway through our early morning adventure, I am taken to the top of the world, where all of Bula and SABC can be seen. As far as the eye can see, that's all game land, reserves or farms. This is definitely a picture-worthy moment. Back on the road again, we are alerted to a young elephant bull. These apparently make quite a ruckus in the area. Further along, there are more elephants, this time a matriarch and her following. We are almost charged, so we decided to get out of there, making this the opportune time for a breakfast break. We stop in one of those wide open spaces for a beautiful picnic breakfast, where we get the lowdown of our safari experience from our very capable guide. Okay, JP, so the morning drives, tell us about that.
Alright, so we depart just before the sun comes up, so we can have a nice view as the sun comes up in like golden hour. And then we go out, we literally never know what we're going to get up to. We go and we track. If we see fresh tracks, that's what we're going to follow. Hear what we smell, and that's how we go. So we never know what we're going to get up to. There's never a plan. We just do what we do. Yeah.
Yes, and on our game drives, we saw a warthog. Can you tell us a little bit more about the warthog?
Okay, so warthog, the name warthog itself is because of the warts on the face itself. So males have 4 warts, much bigger next to the eyes. The females will have only 2 warts, small warts next to their mouth. That's about it. And they also, the warthogs, they have that follow me sign, which a lot of animals have, like giraffe have the white ears. The warthog have the tail to come up when they run, to help their friends. Hey, come with me, this is the way to go. Yeah.
Now we saw a warthog mom with the little babies.
Yeah.
And you were saying that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. So the babies normally, there will be average of around 4 to 6 babies, little piglets. But unfortunately, because they're that small and it's that time of year, everything wants a little pork chop. Yeah. So they normally end up with about average of 2 once that's growing older. If they're older than 4 months, they'll be fine to survive. But when they're these little piggies, it's a nice meal for everyone, an easy meal. Yeah.
And one of the other animals we saw, jackal.
Jackal. All right. So we've got the last season, rainy season, we actually had so many pups. We've got a lot of jackal out here, and they eat the smaller things like the mongoose and the bunnies and the antelope that just got born and stuff like that. So they're always the predators that's out here. And then we've got cat species, other cat species like African black-footed cats, caracals. You don't see them often in your servals, but they're definitely around here. They'll come visit you at night, 12 o'clock at night. We don't expect it, they come around. But Mbuna itself, so Mbuna, the name Mbuna actually means in Swana, it's a guy opening the door to something new, something more spectacular and stuff like that. So that's what Bula basically means. Bula means open, and Mamula is this chief that opens the door for his people to a new world.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's really beautiful.
Now the camp itself is divided into 2 different camps.
Yeah. So the lodge itself, the entire property is 12,000 hectares altogether. We've got about 10,000 hectares on the main property. That's where the main lodge and all the camps are at. Then we've got other side of the public road, because the reserve is split, it's big. We've got the lines. So the lines are separate, and we've got the rest of the big 4 this side. But in the lines enclosure, it's not a small enclosure. It's 2,000 hectares. They can do what they want. They hunt for themselves. We don't help the animals out here at all. We're actually one of the reserves that have big 5 animals roaming freely and eating freely in this entire vicinity. So that's really great for us. Yeah.
And we also saw, I think it was buffalo.
Yeah. So we've got some buffalo. What's nice about the buffalo on this property, there's a big herd, say up to 60, some that's individual roaming around as well, and they're all disease-free, TB disease-free. So bovine TB is a big thing in Southern Africa now. So having buffalo like this, that's naturally breeding, and it's all disease-free, is great for our population of buffaloes and all that. Yeah.
Just an interesting fact, how much can a buffalo be sold for?
Well, the highest we've had so far is the 40 million. Lower than that, it could go anything from 1 to 10 million. That's about an average for proper male big buffalo. Yeah, TB free, all that. Yes.
So why are they so expensive?
They're basically expensive. Buffaloes are like cattle, but now they become expensive because of this disease that's threatening them. So that's why they became expensive. It's the same as your rhino now being really endangered, just because there's money involving people in catching them and getting the horns and all that things. So we're going to protect them as well. But yeah, that's great for our buffalo.
Everybody comes here for the wildlife, but there's a lot of birds that we're gonna eat.
Yeah, we've got lots of birds, and then we've got your general game as well that you would expect in Southern Africa, like hippos and giraffe, zebras, and all the other antelope and the general game as well. That comes together, and then we've got migrating bird species coming in and out. We've got the beautiful lilac-breasted roller, really pretty bird. So yeah, the bird species, we've got falcons, we've got eagles as well. Nice birds that come here is like your secondary bird, which you don't see often, or the blue cranes and stuff like that. And African spoonbills, that's also migrating and all that. Yeah. So we do get them all the time.
And before it's all over for the morning, it is definitely selfie time. Now that was me at Kwapubesi Tented Safari Lodge, which was absolutely amazing. But do remember that you can catch us on Twitter or on Instagram on Trendz on SABC using the hashtag TrendzTravel.
SABC News celebrates Youth Month.
Now this beautiful space is the brainchild of Joanne Rulofson of The Laughing Pig. And if you love beautiful spaces, then you'll absolutely love Design Joburg.
The vibrant business district of Sandton was home to the wide variety of local design at the second annual Design Joburg. This festival was launched by a collective that saw a need in the market for a high-end showcase in design and deco.
Design Joburg is really the premier design and decor show of 2018 and any year in South Africa. This is where you find all the top designers, architects and industry trendsetters. So it's really a great privilege to be here to showcase the Dorong Malo style, which has been quite successful.
I started my journey, I guess you would say, with Design Joburg because last year we launched our initial range here and I got such positive feedback, and with launching our second range I wanted it to be here, you know. I mean, I know most of the people who organize it, so it's been like great. It's like that supportive environment, so it's great. It's like one of the greatest shows in terms of showcasing local design and local talent. So no, I love being a part of this.
South Africa has so much talent, from emerging talent to established designers. We wanted to make sure we had a bit of everything in the industry, and that we showcased a variety of work, from very masculine to feminine, bathrooms to kitchen.
This showroom event had many collaborations with designers. In the center of the space was the show-stopping cola-inspired bathroom.
The name of the stand is called The Rebirth of Archipelago. The word archipelago is basically an ancient word that was used for Africa, meaning the motherland of humankind. So the whole inspiration here, the whole concept is to celebrate Africa and just to bring about what Africa is known for. You know, the richness of Africa in cultures, the minerals that we have. So the whole thing is to also celebrate the minerals of what Africa has to offer. The whole inspiration behind it is like the sun rays, and then the change represents sort of like the raindrops. Okay. And then all of this falls to the ground, which is also you get the mosaics on the floor. Yeah.
I mean, it even has lights inside.
Yes,
how deep are you trying to make like a disco setup in here?
No, not really. The whole experience is that you can sort of like dim the lights, and then each light will represent a different type of flow that comes from the rain shower.
Everything you see in the stand is inspired by the Perline and the Briolette basin. So we looked at the shapes that were in the basins, and we looked at how they reflect light and bend light. And we're also very inspired by the chrome in the taps. So what we wanted to do was to explode the product out into the space, and that's what we see here. In the coloring, in the reflections, and in the light and shadow.
Africa has taken center stage in design. Urban native designer Mpovakie finds fulfillment in creating culturally informed interior designs that are inspired by the functionality of mid-century European furniture.
The range that we're showcasing this weekend is inspired by the textural and sculptural qualities of traditional African hairstyle, almost like an ode and a love letter to African hair. But it's also juxtaposed with like functionality and using modern materials. Like we have a side table that's also a light, our Makeba light side table. So you plug in the whole side table and it functions both as a light and a side table. So that inspires me, line inspires me, form inspires me, and stories. You know, like I don't just design for functionality's sake, I also design to tell stories. My son is both Belgian and Tswana. I want to be able to leave the legacy that he can use as pieces, as functional pieces, but it also tells a story about part of who he is.
Johannesburg-based boutique interior architect, well known for his design work in the restaurant and nightlife scenes, Tristan Du Plessis collaborated with young conceptual designer Dua Mizulu in creating a cutting-edge kitchen space.
Yeah, it's Miami Vice. It's actually a James Bond villain, right? Yeah, James Bond villain vibes. We've got a lot of dark marble. We've got the Cartier brushed bronze, very expensive light fittings. We've got this furniture from Italy that we've got custom made for us from Diesel Moroso. Custom server, all deep wood paneled walls. So yeah, we haven't held back in terms of luxury.
Both Tristan and I, he's in like hospitality. I'm also trying to get into hospitality and also corporate. So this, both for us, it was like very challenging, you know, because we don't specialize in kitchen design, like residential. So I think it was quite an interesting experience to actually design this kind of stand.
Design extraordinaire Donald Nxumalo's love for fusing contemporary African aesthetic with a hint of the classic antique pieces has taken his brand to the top.
In the stand you'll find beautiful lamps. I love Maasai, I love Kenya, that's my favorite destination to visit. So you find the Maasai lamps, which we've specifically in this case designed a lampshade for. We have embroidered scatter cushions that come from a company called Ivili Loboya in the Eastern Cape. They have goats they have goats here in South Africa. They shear it and the manufacturing process happens 100% in South Africa. You'll also see beautiful linens here. I love using textures, and against the chunky textures I've got beautiful velvets.
This year I'm more inspired because I see the likes of Donald, they've went big, like they've pushed beyond boundaries. So as an up-and-coming decorator, I feel much more inspired.
Design Joburg just incorporates the young lifestyle and the beauty that one wants to surround themselves with. So if you want your place to look in a particular way and have a certain feel, this is the right place to actually come scout for certain pieces. Without having to have a more European, Western, you mix it all together actually, pretty much. That's what happens when you come here.
For those of us with less expertise in the design world, here's a tip on how to have a trendy classic home.
Don't rush. I think buy investment pieces. Buy pieces you'll love that can last a lifetime. I think where you can have fun and you can follow trend is on your smaller items. You know, your cushions, your objet. Spend money and change that seasonally. But your big expensive pieces, invest in pieces you love.
Ivorian photographer Frank Fanny's home is also a gallery of some of his best loved work.
Ma carrière photographique commence, je dirais, à peu près avec ces photos-là. Voilà. Ce sont les photos d'une usine de traitement de manganèse à Kingston. Voilà. Ici, c'est des portraits que j'ai faits pour des Mboro que j'ai rencontré au nord du Nigeria, à Yola. Voilà, c'est très rare que je fasse des portraits. Et c'est les rares portraits qu'il y a de moi. Je pense même que vous êtes les premières personnes à les présenter. Voilà. Et la maison me sert un petit peu de décor pour l'ensemble de mes travaux. Et ici, j'ai utilisé une photo de la série Another Day Without You. Voilà, pour faire l'entrée de la porte. Ciao.
Fresh from his latest showing at this year's Contemporary African Art Biennale known as Dark Art, which is currently underway in Senegal, Fanny gave us rare access to a sacred creative space where he talked about inspiration, art, and how he manages to capture the rawness and the realism of the present. The self-taught photographer got serious about photography in 2001 during a holiday in Jamaica.
C'est des échanges avec des amis qui, eux, sont plus pointus dans certains domaines comme la photographie, que bon, ils m'ont attiré l'attention sur le fait que les photos que je faisais allaient au-delà de la simple photo de vacances. Et voilà, donc j'ai approfondi les choses, j'ai laissé mon œil se promener, je me suis équipé. Comme je suis un peu curieux, j'aime aller au fond des choses. Moi, j'ai poussé un petit peu cette passion photographique et ça m'a permis, au gré des rencontres et évidemment la chance de rencontrer des gens passionnés, ça m'a permis de participer à des événements majeurs qui m'ont conforté dans mon choix de ce média comme moyen d'expression artistique. J'ai jamais de thème défini à l'avance. En général, je sors faire de la photo parce que j'ai besoin de m'isoler ou de me concentrer ou de penser à autre chose, ou de faire un reset interne, personnel. Et en fonction de... C'est une balade en fait, hein, et en fonction de la balade, je vais avoir un focus sur tel ou tel objet.
Known for his abstract photography that often depicts rawness and realism, Fanny says he does not plan ahead but rather lets the surroundings be his inspiration. When he's not taking pictures, Fanny joins other creatives at the YOLO Media Factory, a broadcasting and media production company that he founded to produce local content. Fanny's collaborations say he's... Fanny's collaborators say his success as a photographer is no surprise given his curiosity and good eye.
Pour nous, c'était d'abord un hobby. Voilà, il avait toujours un appareil avec lui. Et ce hobby, finalement, on s'est rendu compte que c'est devenu une de ses activités principales qui lui permet de développer son talent artistique qu'il avait en lui et qui s'est révélé grâce aux photos qu'il fait.
Fanny has exhibited as a solo artist throughout the world, including Germany, Britain, the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C., as well as Venice Art Biennale. But despite this success, Fanny says he is often misrepresented and would like to see artists from Africa recognized without labels.
Je refute le terme art contemporain africain, que je n'aime pas du tout, parce que souvent, lorsqu'on s'adresse à des artistes provenance de chez nous, on va parler de l'artiste contemporain africain, l'artiste. Non, nous sommes des artistes. Nous sommes des artistes à part entière. Nous sommes influencés par nos origines, qui sont des origines africaines, mais on ne parle pas d'artistes contemporains japonais, artistes contemporains français. Quand des artistes sont cités, on les cite en tant qu'artistes et c'est fini. Ça, c'est le dernier, d'accord, le rouge. Voilà.
Fanny adds another accolade to his list of achievements. Earlier this month, he was awarded the main prize at Dark Art.
Now, Trendy Travelers, as you know, we have become more interactive and we'd love to hear from you. So tag us, like us, post pictures. You can catch us on Twitter and on Instagram on Trendz on SABC using the hashtag TrendsTravel.
SABC News celebrates Youth Month.
Now, what would Trendz be if we didn't take you on a journey of gastronomic proportions? Right now, Bula takes us on a 6-course meal journey right through Bombay.
Have you ever imagined yourself traveling in a 5-star train, exploring different cities, enjoying a world-class menu and drinking one of the best London gins? Well, the Grand Journey train brought to you by Bombay Sapphire made its first visit to South Africa last weekend. The train hosted an immersive drinking and dining experience. Passengers traveling on the train enjoyed culinary delights from star South African chef Wandile Mabaso, which was perfectly paired with Bombay cocktails prepared by top mixologist Nicholas Kambarakis. First course together with its cocktail.
The first course, there was actually an amuse bush. It's a cauliflower, roasted cauliflower cooked in turmeric, finished with coconut cream, served with a pork belly. And the pork belly, as I mentioned, we cooked it sous vide under pressure for about 8 hours, and this is at 90 degrees. So cooked very slow, came out very succulent, very soft, and that's served with a savory tuile with micro root vegetables. Yeah.
The first drink that we had was, a simple star and tonic, right? So we're working with Star of Bombay. It works with a slower distillation process and obviously with this unique vapor infusion. And then with the botanicals that has within Star of Bombay, it has these 2 very rare botanicals primarily reserved for perfumery. One being Ambretta seeds that we source from Ecuador, and the other being orange bergamot peel from Sicily, Calabria, right? So we're working with a great tonic water. Your gin and tonic is only as good as the tonic water that you're working with, even the ice as well. So you notice that there's that big block of ice that you had, and then obviously working with the gin and the tonic water.
The second course took us all the way to China and India.
A lot of people like langoustine. I think the most important thing about that dish is the langoustine itself, where it comes from, the ingredient. It's fresh from Mozambique. It didn't touch any fishmonger. It didn't go in any fridge, so straight from the ocean to Joburg and then into our fridge, so the freshness was there. And it was cooked with the botanicals of cassia root, which is similar to cinnamon, with baby bok choy that's cooked and poached in lemon, soy sauce and butter emulsion, with a puree of celery root, and we made the langoustine sauce using the heads of the langoustine, which are infused with orange zest. So very Asian feel, nice, different flavors.
Second drink that we set up is a drink called Salvaged, right? So as a bartender, you want to try and obviously work with the kitchen as well. So there's obviously great relationships, symbiotic relationships from bar, same parallels from bar to drink, right? So don't discard that.
The journey took a detour, making its way to the third course, salmon cooked in amberette seed.
The salmon came about obviously with botanical, which is amberette seed from Ecuador. So the flavors were pretty different, obviously representing the region of Ecuador. So the salmon we cooked also sous vide, and we marinated in the ambrette seed and chipotle peppers, which are from Mexico. And then we cooked it at a very slow temperature at 52 degrees for about 5 hours as well. So it came out very soft, melt in your mouth effect. And we used, I wanted to go very light, so I used the avocado, which we curried the avocado. So it's avocado curry with coconut. And we designed a beetroot bread, which we baked a bread using roasted beetroot and obviously flour and yeast. And the sauce was made from a broth of mussels with vermouth and saffron, turmeric as well, and finished with a bit of cream.
Third drink we had a hand in trying to, or the inspiration I drew from is quintessential British ingredients, right? Cucumber is one of them, rhubarb is another, and we kind of like drew all these elements and these ingredients together to create something that was really, really special, and also at the same time not discarding any ingredients. So the palate cleanser that you had on your tables, the cucumber soda, we didn't discard the peels of the cucumber. We took those, we dehydrated them, added them in a Thermomix with smoked salts. We ground it to a fine powder, and then on the side of your glass you had a smoked salt, cucumber salt, which is going to make the drink pop at the end of the course.
To balance the menu, Mabaso brought some African discovery.
Each course that I cooked, I used the botanicals that are in the gin, the Bombay Sapphire, and the botanicals in there is coriander seeds, which are from Morocco. So obviously the dish had to represent flavors of Morocco. And obviously we used bulgur wheat, which is very popular in Morocco, and there's lots of citrus flavors, there's coriander seeds, you know, and there's a puree of mushroom and black truffle. So it represents the botanical, which is coriander seeds, but however the flavors do represent North Africa.
To conclude our journey, we were surprised with beautiful dessert artwork paired with coffee and gin.
We used lemon peels, which is one of the botanicals. So we cook the lemon peels in water. We blanch it or boil it 3 times to cook out the bitterness. And then we cook it in its own juice, lemon syrup juice with spices. And then once it's soft, we blend it together into a paste. And from there, we use that as a base to create an ice cream. And then we mold the ice cream into a lemon shape, and then we freeze it. And then we dip it in white chocolate. And then after that we spray it with edible colors, and then it looks like a lemon afterwards. So the concept, like I said, is taking a lemon, breaking it down and rebuilding it for the guests to eat.
Last drink that we're setting up you guys for is a coffee and tonic, right? So the incredible dessert that Wandile had presented you guys lastly, to counterbalance the sweetness, we had kind of a bitter drink and then coffee. But we're working with a cold brew coffee that we had created using single origin Kenya beans that we grind, and then add water for a period of time, and then we mix it with elderflower tonic water, which kind of created this, like almost like a passion fruit-esque kind of flavor profile coming through the last drink.
I can safely say the journey was indeed amazing.
Well guys, I do know that it's cold outside and I do know that it's winter, but I hope you are doing your best to get out there, and to help you along we have our gig guide.
Don't let the winter blues get you down. The 41 on Camps Bay is offering jazz on the bay once a month through winter, giving guests a reason to celebrate in style while sipping on the finest wines, enjoying a beachfront cuisine second to none. A winter set menu of 5 delectable courses paired perfectly with the yields of Cape Town's finest grape cultivars will be served, along with live jazz performances by local jazz artists setting the evening's ambiance. Referred to as KZN's biggest, the Ugu Jazz Festival is the largest music event in KwaZulu-Natal. The festival, now in its 8th year, is an annual event famous for delivering a star-studded lineup. This year promises to showcase the sounds of Zonke, Oliver Mtukudzi and Salailo Selota amongst many. More than 20 artists will be performing throughout the night to music lovers, focusing mainly on jazz performances by SA legends and upcoming artists. The Ellisras Bushveld Festival takes place in early July in the heart of the Bushveld in the Waterberg district of Limpopo. The festival includes cattle shows, a game auction, horse jumping, dog shows, agricultural activities, a 3-day battle for the best 4x4 competition, a game farms expo, hunting opportunities, bird and tree identification competitions, traditional food, a beer tent, and a huge campfire. The Komatipoort Prawn Festival will be celebrating with fun and entertainment for the whole family. Many South African artists will be performing on large outdoor stage. A wide variety of stalls will be provided to keep your appetite at bay and a beer tent to keep you hydrated. A fun fair should keep the kids entertained along with many more activities, an event not to be missed. Months of suspense and speculation has ended with the eagerly anticipated announcement of the theme for the 2018 Vodacom Durban July, and the It Is Time concept has been warmly received in racing, fashion and social circles. The theme is embraced by thousands of people who attend the race day at the Greyville Racecourse and for the many hundreds throughout South Africa who hold race day functions at home to celebrate what has become known as Africa's greatest horse racing event. So whip out your most fabulous outfit and get ready to toast to time. If you're in the mood for music, Marcus Wyatt's Sama Award-winning 17-piece Czar Jazz Orchestra will be playing 2 exclusive shows at the Orbit. They'll also be recording a new album, so head through and be part of the magical process with some of South Africa's hippest musicians. There will also be some very special guests performing on the night, including trumpet legend Fea Fagu and rising star Zoe Madiga on voice. Soweto is hosting a cancer awareness campaign on the 23rd of June. Starting from Vilagazi, the ride will be 20 kilometers around Soweto. Cancer fighters will be there to share their inspirational stories of survival, loss and strength. So come through and support.
Well, being a trendy traveler, that automatically makes you a foodie, so I do hope that you enjoyed our journey through Bombay. But right now, I do want to remind you that you can catch us on Twitter and on Instagram on Trendz on SABC using the hashtag TrendzTravel.
SABC News celebrates Youth Month.
The Russian provincial city of Rostov-on-Don is expecting an inrush of soccer fans as the city will host the World Cup matches this month, while accommodation remains an issue for many visitors. The majority of hotels are already full and apartment rentals have gone up dramatically, but hostel owners assure last-minute bookers that they will find a place to stay.
Для двухместного номера законодательство выпустило такую цену, выше которой мы не можем повышать, и устанавливать цены у себя в отеле, в хостеле. Но так как номера у нас 8-местные, 6-местные, наше правительство сказало, вы эту сумму делите на 8. То есть получается, что мы можем продавать хостелы, свои места в хостеле по 200, по 300 рублей с человека. Это даже меньше той суммы, которую мы продаем в обычное время. И хостелы ушли в подполье.
She explains this strategy with Russian legislation curbing the growth of prices during the World Tournament.
Ближе к чемпионату мы откроем эти места для открытых продаж на сайтах бронирования, на букинге. Но сейчас мы их не продаем, потому что мы боимся, что придет Роспотребнадзор с проверкой о завышении цены и оштрафует нас на 50 000 рублей.
The government ruling passed back in February 2016 has limited housing prices to the national average, which satisfied businesses in the capital and left some provincial hotels disappointed.
Различные требования, которые начали предъявлять отелям, существовали ранее, но теперь их всем приходится по-настоящему выполнять. Все это вытолкнуло гостиничный бизнес города на совершенно новый уровень.
In the meantime, some people seek other than financial benefits from the upcoming surge of visitors. Some roster residents let out a room or a sleeping place for free, intending to use communication with foreigners as a way to improve their language skills.
On Airbnb, you can find offers to stay for free during World Cup. The only one requirement is to be native English speaker from English-speaking country.
Russia will host the World Cup from the 14th of June to the 15th of July in 12 venues spread across 11 cities, including Moscow, St. Petersburg, Kazan and Sochi, and is expecting a large influx of visitors.
И считаю, что в России близкая к этому, но в то же время очень другая культура, которой мне было бы интересно поделиться с другими людьми. К тому же мои родители изучают английский язык, чтобы комфортно путешествовать. И это было бы хорошей практикой, поскольку когда я учил английский, я понял, что вот комната, в которой мы планируем разместить постояльцев, вот кровать, диван, он раскладывается, в нем могут поместиться вполне комфортно 2 человека. Погружая в среду семьи, это значит, что мы будем предлагать им заниматься теми же там интересными делами, которыми мы занимаемся в свободное время. Время от времени мы выезжаем на природу, катаемся на вейкбордах. Это, конечно, происходит не часто, но точно раза 2 в год. Вот. Также по городу мы можем показать, где есть интересные места, что следует посетить.
The picturesque Himalayan desert of Indian Kashmir's Leh is attracting a lot of tourists from all over the country. Tourists were seen clicking photos and enjoying with gulls at the turquoise blue lake of Pangwanso in the lap of the Himalayas. Located at over 17,000 feet above sea level, the temperature at Leh is more pleasant and people from all over the country look at the hill town to beat the intense heat.
मैं दिल्ली से आया हूँ और पिछले 3 दिन से लेह घूम रहे हैं हम एंड दिस इज द वन ऑफ द बेस्ट प्लेस वी हैव सीन फेंगनोंग लेक और यहाँ पे जो शूटिंग हुई थी उसी के मजे ले रहे हैं अभी हम स्कूटर पे बैठे हैं.
Tourism in the area brings with it another challenge of cleanliness. The main responsibility is to keep the area clean, said Councillor Chusho. The geoclimatic conditions, the landscape, culture and tradition have been reasons that the tourism industry has flourished in the area.
मैंने आज तक इतना नज़ारा कहीं नहीं देखा. आया या देख पोंगोंग लेक पे खड़ा हूँ तो ऐसा मैं नहीं लगता कि वर्ल्ड में और कहीं होगा. और इतना हैप्पी और इतना हम इधर पीस भी यहाँ के जो पीपल है इतने पीसफुल है.
जैसे यहाँ पे ज़्यादातर टूरिस्ट जो है पेंगुइन के लिए आते, पेंगुइन देखने के लिए आते हैं, तो इसमें मेन रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ये होता है कि एक तो सफाई रखने का। तो जितने भी जो टूरिस्ट आता है, एक तरीके से जो टूरिस्ट आता है वो यहाँ पे जो एंजॉय करने के लिए आते हैं।
There is also an increased influx of tourists following the climax of Bollywood superstar Amir Khan's movie 3 Idiots, which was shot by the picturesque Pangong Lake. Egyptian craftsman Ahmed Yahya pays a visit to his butcher every week, but he does not buy meat. He buys cow and buffalo horns. Yahya's shop in old Islamic Cairo is famous for using buffalo horns to make home ornaments. The figurines usually come in the shape of elephants and owls, but he also creates statuettes of other animals. Yahya, who has been in the trade for 3 decades, inherited the business at a time when it heavily relied on ivory elephant tusks. He later transformed his business by shifting to buffalo horns instead of tusks.
ايام طبعا كان سن الفيل لسه ما ملوش حظر وكده، فكان هو بيشتغل في سن الفيل كتير. لما بدأ السن ينقرض وكده ومصر دخلت الاتفاقية اللي هي حظر السن وكده، فبدأنا نشتغل نشوف حاجة بديلة لنفس الخامة. فتعرفنا بخامة اللي هي القرن الجاموس والخشب، فبدأنا ننحت عليهم نفس الشغل اللي بتعمل على السن. طبعا هو مش نفس القيمة بتاعت السن الفيل، بس ألوانه وخامته كخامة بتجبرنا احنا نتعامل معاها بحرص، ان هي خامة جميلة. ان انت بقرن جاموس بتلاقي حضرتك بتطلع منتج انت مش متوقع ان ده يطلع منه.
With help from his wife Yasmin, Yahya typically takes 2 to 3 hours to complete one ornament.
هي مرهقة جدا، بس حب من الخامة الناس بتستحقرها، ان انت تطلع فيها حاجة بعد كده مبهرة. يعني محدش متوقع ديت قرن جاموس دي كده اهوت، محدش متوقع دي خالص، دي قرن جاموس خالص، ولا بالالوان ولا بالروعة ديت، ولا يعني دي مهما اللي هي بومه لاباحه البومه زي ما هي، بس حضرتك بتشوف الخامه بتاعتها بتقول الله. فده من جوايا مخليني احارب المهنه.
Among Yahya's loyal customers is Rania Iraqi, who checks on the workshop every once in a while.
مهنة لازم يتحافظ عليها قوي. مهنة ان هو حد يطلع من قرن الجاموس اشكال بدل ما بيترمي او بيتحرق او اي حاجة، يطلع منه تحف فنية وممكن تطلع بره وممكن تروح في تلف العالم. حاجة جميلة جدا طبعا.
Yahya sells a single ornament for between 25 and 50 Egyptian pounds.
While it's been teacups, teapots, and more teacups right here at the Tea Room in Edenvale, Johannesburg. I was your host for today, Louise Scoble, and I do hope that you enjoyed today's edition of Trendz Travel. We'd like to hear from you, so catch us on Instagram or on Twitter on Trendz and SABC using the hashtag Trendz Travel.